May the ancestors
Now let's go
bless
and
you.
find that third. And that should be about west of here. Means going through this area with all these spirits that we had to worry about before. Fortunately, they seem to be pacified at the moment. It's the ancestral well. What does that do? Interesting thought. Let's see. Eyelid health bonus. Well, alright. At least it didn't vaporize me or anything like that. One doesn't know about these lands. There are a lot of ancestors walking around here. And usually my ancestors just stay quiet. Well, I know there are the barrow whites, but those are ancestors of the big folk, not of the hobbits. Let's see. I think we need to go this way. Maybe we'll find. On the holy symbol. Priestess Lonway, one of the Queen Pretender's lackeys, has in her possession a holy symbol that could be disruptive to our plans. Find her, kill her, and take the symbol. It is the only relic at the site powerful enough to destroy the corruption stones. They will be able to cleanse the site eventually, but something will have to be brought in from Torinin in the isle itself that will be powerful enough to undo this. Priestess Lanry. Alright. What's this? Tootmongoli. Yeah. Yes, you know I have a way of... Oh yeah, that's where I went with the queen, wasn't it? Well, let's first take care of this marker. Then we could investigate that gully that I see on the map. Ah yes, there's the shrine. Grave marker. Whatever it is. Werthan's grave marker.
Mother would take us here to remember our ancestors. Her father. I love those visits.
Mother will take us here to remember our ancestors. Her father. I love those visits. Nice view. Very nice view. Very long drop. Small island up there. Yeah, alright. Let's head off this way. And now about that, yeah, that gully I wanted to find. Up this way, down this way. Well, they did say it was a gully, so of course I'd have to go down. Too small gully discovered. You have discovered a public dungeon. In this dungeon, the level of difficulty is increased, and other players enter with yours regardless of group status. Ooh, fun. Alright. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. Well, let's see what it's like in here, and see how long it takes me to get crunched. And we'll find out what they mean by public dungeon.
Easy. Just put the sword down.
Down.
I almost ended up with a few extra holes there. Good timing. You saved my neck, whether you meant to or not.
What's going on here?
I'm called Perendil, an investigator for the 1st Auradon Marines. I spotted a goblin sneaking into this cave. It was wearing elven armor. I followed it, but I was ambushed by that woman.
You think she had something to do with the goblins?
Maybe, but I prefer facts to speculation. I don't know who she is or why she is in a goblin cave, but I'm not prepared to go in there alone. You willing to help the investigation? I'm going to set up a signal fire outside.
Alright, I can help. I'll see what I can find.
Watch your back in here. The goblins are well armed for their breed.
Alright. What are the goblins like in this area?
All good investigators always have questions to ask. What did you want to know?
Well, what exactly is this place?
These caves were an uninhabited gully last I knew. Merchants sometimes used it as a way station to dump illicit cargo before checkpoints, but no one ever laid claim to it. It seems like the goblins found a troubling new use for the place.
And what kind of threats do these goblins pose?
The easy answer for the Mer is to say none, but that goes beyond hubris. It is plain foolishness. Goblins are extremely difficult to root out. This batch may be some escaped slaves from the mainland. It is not unheard of.
Alright, well, I know goblins are always mischief, where I come from at least. So let us see what they are like. And see how long it takes before I am kicked running and screaming away. Oh, good grief. Oh, ouch. Alright. Well, that was stupid coming into a dungeon with no...
No hidden face. By's sweep. Please, By's is small and only sweeps. Do not hurt By's.
You can talk?
Yes. Chief learn talk, then By's learn talk from Chief after much time with masters. By's very wise. But By's will not talk to you if say not to. By's just clean shiny things, trophies of old masters.
Tell me, what is going on here with the goblins? And who is that Aldmeri I saw?
Elf is Nelanya. She make deal with Toothmaw tribe. Weapons and armor for help. She even give, what is word? Contract, yes. Elf kings and lords have to accept deal.
And what is this contract?
Contract is in dens, down tunnel. Buys will wait by chief's den. You will see. Buys tell truth.
I will look for this contract and find out. I'll look for this contract to find you in the chief's den.
Buys will not scream for help. Buys promise.
And by the way, what is this place?
Chief take all from homes of old masters. Put here so we see trophies. Trophies of elf masters who wronged us. Buys not forget beatings. Hit, hit, always hit in face.
You were slaves?
From Big Island, yes. Buys told to muck out dung pits, clean floors, run when small elf masters throw rocks. Chief take us away from all this. Form too small tribe, yes. Now we look on trophies to remind us of hardships.
I'm not sure which side to side on. I mean, they are goblins, but not into enslaving things down in the Shire. Even goblins. Alright. Oh, I am going to have to find something to do about my inventory at some point. Jewelry enchanter, weapon enchanting. Well, my weapon... Sword magic deals 3 magic damage, recover 1 magicka, can only be applied between levels 5. Well, let's... Well, that'll help with the inventory a little bit. And probably have to get rid of that at some point. Not yet. Well, I already know that one. Well, just get rid of that. Oh, and oh yeah, of course, get rid of the used bait. That's the first thing I should have gotten rid of. Alright, now let's take care of... Right. Well, at least now I know why they call it the dungeon. Oh wait, something's attacking me. Right, let's see what we've got here.
Jilandar is glad to see a not green face.
Well, what happened to you?
Khajiit tied himself up and is trying new fur cleaning solution. What does it look like? Khajiit was captured. The goblin snuck off to find carrots he thinks. Khajiit must taste good with carrots. Untie Khajiit. He has offer for you.
Alright. I'll untie you.
Khajiit is flattered the goblins will try to eat him. Thanks.
So what's this offer?
Jilandar sells weapons. He gets snatched along the road and dragged here to be eaten, and he notices that the goblins have shiny high elf weapons and armor that could be resold to the Dominion. Khajiit needs to get back to his boat, though.
So?
You find some of the weapon caches here in the gully. Bring them to Jilandar outside by his boat. He will cut you in on profits. It is a bad time for the Dominion, and they will be eager to buy the weapons. Deal?
Alright, I'll find what caches I can and meet you outside. We'll see. Oh, a horn. Oh, something like a horn. Right. Now, let's see what we've got here. Oh, whoa. Oh, these... Oh, this thing's tough. Uh-oh, that's not good. I told you it's not good. Right. Well, I think that satisfied my curiosity for the moment. And I think curiosity is nice to be satisfied, but if I don't do well, I will, well, not come out very well. Let's just say I'll just be on a goblin cook fire. If everything goes well, then I'll be just collecting tons and tons of... Oh, can I get rid of this stupid disguise? Jeez. Whatever. That thing is getting to be annoying. Destroy. Do you really want to destroy this? Yes. Okay, thank you. Yay! Well, I thought it won't let me do that. Well. Alright. Can I just get rid of that quest? Filters. Filters. Away shrines, objectives, and group members. Alright. Key. Players. Travel. Alright. Oh, I guess I have to go, of course, into the journal. Well armed. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's not worry about that. And we'll just worry about that all later, and let's get back to our main objective, and that is finding those grave markers. And now where am I relative? Ooh, there is a little place up here. I wonder what that is. You didn't expect me to make a straight line for the... You didn't expect me to make a straight line for the objective, did you? Nah. Oh. Yeah, Glister Vale. Oh, he's a merchant. Oh, a merchant! Exactly what I need.
You'd be surprised what bounties the sea provides. Share in the bounty?
Alright, yeah, let's see. Well, what I really want to do is to sell a few things. Of course, what I could sell is another map. I know, I just can't bring myself to sell. Oh, well, that's mainly fancy anyway, so Sash of Magica. Well, I think I got a better one as it is. Alright, so we'll sell that. Sell the axe, sell the daggers, sell the mace, sell anything with heavy armor, sell the stupid fish. Sell a couple of shields. Well, I have no need for a petty soul gem at the moment, so I guess I'll sell that. That's not worth anything, so I might as well just try to break that down into components then. And, oh, let's forget about the stupid fishing stuff. Alright, and the rest we could save for other items. Alright, and we could use what's left for either research, breaking down, and the like. No, I'm not going to collect insect parts. Oh. Really? Oh. Bears. I think I've knocked out enough bears. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, okay, we've got a ridge. I guess I turn up and then I can go up to that fortress that's up there. Oh, wait a moment. I sense that someone is nearby that wants me to speak with them. Wow, what a coincidence. The Lunar Lorcum. Well, that's a new one.
What will I do? What will I do?
I don't know. What do you need to do?
What am I going to do? They've been taken.
Are you alright? Who's been taken?
The Queen's entourage. They were taken right out of our camp. A madman, a mage, teleported them away. The look in his eye.
Do you know where they took him?
He cackled something about the veil. It lies just beyond this cave. I've tried to summon up the nerve, but I just can't. Will you go after them? I have these teleportation scrolls. You could use them. Get everyone out.
Alright, give me the scrolls and I'll take care of it.
I hope you can find them. Irene, the Queen. She'll be so worried.
And why were you and the Queen's entourage out here?
We were in transit. Irene, Her Majesty, I mean. She's taking a tour of the realm, and her closest advisors travel with her.
So the Queen's not here?
No, well, she's a faster traveler than the members of her entourage. Minantil has gotten a bit soft since leaving the military. Nulatel isn't very confident on a horse, and Marian won't keep his hands to himself. Makes travel difficult.
And do you know who the mage was?
I'm not sure. His face seemed familiar somehow. Maybe a few years ago. During the signing ceremony? Sorry. I'm terrible with names.
Right. Well, since I don't know too many people here, I guess I can't complain about that. Right. So there. You just knew I was going to Well, found the member lost the Queen's entourage. Now I just have to find out where they are. With bats. Right. Well, they don't seem to be that much of a problem. Right. Oh, okay, well that's, we should say just beyond the cave. In Glister Vale. This must be it. A couple of wolves, nothing particularly tough here. Definitely not anything really tough. Looks like mainly wolves in the area. Good grief! I die before I reach him. Oh, poor wolves. Tower of the Vale. And maybe we'll even finish loading. Yes! Ooh, bookshelf. The Fall of Tremiac. Runes of Kemel-Ze Part 2. I think I have other parts of that already, so... Aunt Anelia's cookbook.
So many valuable things.
Ooh. Oh. Book of Circles, Lornius Maxus. Hello there.
Go away. It's all mine. Sir Nesselmo said so. Are you using that weapon? I bet I could get a fair price for it.
Sorry, it's not for sale. And who is Sanasalmo?
A mage. He teleported us all here and started casting some spells and... Oh, that really is a nice pair of boots you're wearing. Could I just see...
Focus, please! Where did he go? And where are the other members of the Queen's entourage?
Oh, they're somewhere back there. I couldn't get Minantil or Marian to give up their shirts. And I really wanted Nulatel's pants, but he refused. Misers. You sure you don't have anything to trade?
Well, I do have this valuable scroll. Why don't you read it over?
Ah, beautiful. Look at this handwriting.
An accountant's greed is rarely distracted. Some speakers...
Oh boy. Oh, cute. Wait till next time. Alchemy discovering traits. By decree of Corian, the court mage of Sanaselmo is henceforth stripped of all titles, duties, and rights according to him by his position. The outcast Sanaselmo is further banished from the Somerset Isles for his crimes against the citizenry of the Dominion. Well, apparently he is still on the Somerset Isles, if I understand the locations properly. By the will of the Queen, he has 1 week to remove himself from the heart of the Dominion or face charges most serious and consequences most fatal by the Queen's hand, and apparently he is ignoring this decree. Part 1. I think I should read all those parts together. I don't know if I've read any of them already, but I think read them all together might give them something to think about. Well, it sounds like where I am, they just, oh look, here's a book that may have some lore in it. Read it, and I'll be teleported. Right? That's the way this thing works. Hello there, Sansalamo, are you?
Clever. Very clever. Poor woman. Even taken beyond these walls, no accountant is ever freed from her greed. I am Sir Nesselman. Welcome to my laboratory.
And where are the other members of the Queen's entourage?
Oh, I'm testing them. Much like I did to Lanatale. Each now resides in a small world of their own making. I'm fascinated by emotion, the power it holds. I'm afraid to say, but they're not doing very well.
Why don't you let them free, and let me participate in your tests?
Oh, what a splendid idea. External stimulus in the mix. Here are open portals to their little worlds. Succeed or fail, this should be simply fascinating.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Well, let us see how this works. Oh, this place is crowded. Well, not the toughest bear I've seen. Well, let's see what we have here. Oh. Where's that? I may have missed something. I should be careful. Just in case we have one of those crazy soul gems, or whatever they're called around here. I still would like to find a spear. Hello there.
It's so cold. I can barely move. Never get out of here. Not sure I want to.
Why don't you want to leave?
It's got to be colder out there. It isn't here. Please, build us a fire. Warm us up and we can go.
What should I use to build a fire?
I brought a few things in with me. Oil, some flint and tinder. And I think I saw a pile of straw somewhere while I was wandering around. Just hurry.
Alright, I need to collect some straw, some flint and tinder, some oil.
Knowing secrets is like slowly freezing
And
to death.
see what this does.
Numbing.
Oh, you're tougher than the last one. I must give you that. Okay, here's some straw.
He suffers. His mind sits on razor's edge.
Sure there's nothing this way. Can't get through that way. Oh well, maybe not. Actually, if I am going to... There doesn't seem to be much opposition around here that's serious. So what if I... Not my most powerful weapon, but...
Amazing, isn't it? The Queen chose a herald who can barely stand speaking to others.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see what we have here. Oh, there's a bottle of oil. That's good. Yeah. Oh, good grief. Alright. Oh, there, I thought I was going to get on over my head.
Nulitel announced my expulsion from the Queen's inner circle.
When you're the size of a hobbit, it's very easy for things to get over your head. Yeah. That certainly will help me to learn how to use these. Weird spears properly. Thunder spear. Alright. Now, let's see what we get this way.
Nulitel, the Queen's herald, the most knowledgeable man in the Aldmeri court.
What is this? I was Sanacelo's adjutant. May my loyalty be rewarded in another life. I worked for decades with the Master when he was, I thought, unjustly removed from the Queen's court. I stood with him. No one could judge him for what happened to his wife, I thought. The public eye can be cruel, but the man I work for now bears little resemblance to that man. He has broken. I have performed tasks in these strange landscapes of the mind that would make most moral men shiver. I have supported rituals so heinous that the line between death and life is blurred. I mourned for Sansalma I knew, witty conversationalist, loyal employer, loving husband. The monster he has become is unrecognizable. I wrote these words staring at a wall of ice, certain to be the last thing I see. Should someone find this letter, I hope they do better by Sanasalo than I. Alright. Oh, what is this? Some flint and tinder! Yes! Now that should start a fire for us. Alright. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Oh! Place to build a campfire.
Oh, so warm. Never thought I'd feel warmth again. You were right. It's so much warmer out here. The cold in there, terrible.
Are you feeling better?
Yes. Yes, I am. Thank you. I just couldn't take that first step. I felt safer freezing to death than I did trying to leave the cave. Damned what the mind is.
I have a teleportation scroll. Take it and get yourself warmed up.
Your kindness shall be remembered. Until we speak again.
Alright.
He fears others, yet you force him from seclusion. How kind.
One down. Now let's go to here. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, fun!
What is a general without war?
Yeah. Yeah, getting rid of those is probably
How
the
can one live with nothing but rage?
optimal solution, and following this guy Well, that's not good.
Real soldiers dream of death.
Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, that one was close. Now, how did Fighters Guild to 2? Silver Bolt. See? Well, we'll see.
Minantil's men suffered in death. She suffers in life.
Well, if it's going to be that tough, I may have to go back to my standard weaponry.
Minantil was a great general once.
Yeah,
stripped of
let
her
me... Alright, let's get back to my better weaponry. Now that one. Oh. Alright, and we want our shield back. Alright.
What is a general without war?
Now, where do I need to go around here? Let's see, that's where I entered, so I need to get over the... This looks hot. Looks very hot. Ouch! Ooh. That was... Alright. Sort of like the rift. Okay. Hello.
What are you doing here, scum?
I'm not here to fight you. Just come with me.
Don't touch me. I'll kill you, you hear me? I'll kill you. Intruder. Get them. Kill them.
Ouch! He's a toughie. You're going to get it, aren't you? Oh, well. I got a little something to eat first. Now, let's see what I can do about this guy. We are going to try to get there. Into the rift! Ouch!
What are you doing here? Don't touch me. Intruder. Get them. Kill them.
A little help there. Yes, got it. Okay, I had a little help that time. Gecko Boots of Magica. Yeah, I think I like that. That's better.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What was that
I
thing?
can think again. Didn't recognize the face, but the armor. That was my old armor from my campaigning days. I had no idea. All this rage, this hatred must have been bubbling
We need to
within
get
me
you out of
for
here.
years.
Take this teleportation scroll.
The sooner I'm clear of this place, the better I'll feel. Speak with you soon, soldier.
Alright, good. That's out of the way, and now... Ow! Ouch, 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 ouch,
Very
ouch.
disgraced general overcomes her anger? How very uplifting.
Alright. Now. Okay, so now let's see what's going on in here. Surely there'll be something nasty here. Well, at least there's no...
The picture of true love. Those two.
Oh, bookshelf. Of the Dragonfire's fragment. Okay. Fundamentals of Alchemy. There must be a new one if... An alchemy station.
Isn't she beautiful? Where has she been all my life? We'll be together forever.
That's not her as much as a spirit.
No, she's the love of my life. Nothing you can say will change that. I just wish this cave wasn't so dangerous. The poor thing gets scared around these strange mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Yes, I'm an alchemist. Before I met this fine lady, I was worried about magical manipulation for some reason. Anyway, I was going to collect spores, create a potion to guard against a... Did I
Oh yeah,
mention
yeah.
we're to be
Focus for a
married?
moment. How were you going to make this potion?
Oh, the recipe's in my pack, I'm sure. Don't know where my pack's gotten to. Why would you need... Yes, my sweet? What was that you
Alright.
said?
Oh, good grief.
It's so easy to make Miri unhappy. For a time.
Alright. Imps. Alright, now let's see what we've got here. Maryland's diary. That strange mage. Why would he leave me here? Luckily, a talented alchemist is never without his tools. I've noticed several types of mushrooms growing in the cave. After puttering in the cave, I put together a recipe for a magic resistance potion. Should keep it safe from any manipulations or illusions. I was just beginning to gather ingredients when the most luminous creature appeared to me. Initially, I thought she was a vision imprinted in my weary brain, but we began talking and... Diary. Oh, my dear diary. I am enraptured. She is so kind and understanding. It's like she was made for me. Oh, yes, she was. I sing for her, recite poetry for her. She loves it. My wife doesn't like music. Minstrels bother her. She always gets bothered by something or another. She doesn't appreciate me, not like the new lady of my life. Read over my first entry. I note that I was trying to formulate a potion, but I can't for the life of me remember why. I've grown to this place, even keening for the bats and the underground like a siren song. It is all thanks to her, my lady, my love. My wandering days are over. We are to be married and live forever in our subterranean paradise. If I ever see that mage again, I'll thank him. He's changed my life. Ooh, that's for sure. Let's see if there's a recipe in here. Ah, here we go. There we go. I need some blood crown spores and some lavender cap. And some gleam sap. Rather more complicated than most other recipes I've seen. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Well, here's some.
Maria's son is mine.
Well, that was strange. Oh. Okay.
Marion's love is like a fine wine. I'm so all you can think about. Delicious.
Alright, so that's what I gotta do. Oh. Alright, let's see.
You can't get me out of his head, fool. He'll never turn from me, you know.
So now I've got to go this way. Ah, alright. Iron Mace of Frost. Not particularly impressive. Alright, now how am I to do this?
Marian's passions control him.
Why does it seem to be on the other side, it looks like. That's not it. But if I go beyond there, I get... That's too far away. Let's see. Oh. Alright, now I see what I'm doing wrong there. There we go. Now.
He loves alchemy. Everyone mixes well with him.
I need to somehow get up there.
If Marian dies here, he dies happy. You'd deny him that?
Yeah, let's see, how do I get... How do I get up there? Is there a passage? Climb up something?
Marian finally finds love as a slave.
Alright, let's see. This is... I don't think this worked last time. We'll see. Or does it?
Marian finally finds love as a slave.
Oh, that completely didn't work.
Don't ruin such an innocent love.
What?
No!
What's
Marion
happening?
is mine!
Oh.
All mine!
That's what I had to do.
What happened to
You're
me?
safe now, I think.
What was
Do
that
you still
thing?
want to marry that thing?
Marry it? That's ridiculous. I'm already married. And I'm always careful. I never bring up marriage with another woman. That's
Yeah,
just
great.
impossible.
Okay. Oh, we need to get you out of here. Here's a teleportation scroll.
Ah, very nice. From Eminelia, right? Rather fetching, even if she is high-strung.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you, my new friend.
All right. I obviously didn't understand that. I'm just a confused hobbit.
He fears others, yet you force him from seclusion. How kind.
Okay, let's just get out of here.
Thank you for your help, but sadly you no longer use me. Prepare for death.
Oh well. He's over with. Oh. Right, I'm out of here. Glad I got an extra teleportation scroll. Teleportation obviously takes time. Alright. Hello, I'm back.
You've done it. The rest of the lady's entourage has gone on ahead.
Yeah,
you
I think
deal
he's
with the
taken care
madman?
of. It was some mage called Sanis Salmo. He was an exile or something.
Saneselmo? Now that name I remember. Used to be a member of the Queen's inner circle. You have my deepest gratitude for your service today. I'll be sure the Queen learns of your bravery.
Alright, thank you. And that is... interesting.
I'm sure Irene herself would thank you were she here.
You recognized his name. Who was he?
As I said, he used to be a member of the Queen's inner circle. He knew Marian, Minantil, and the rest very well.
And why was he
Until he
thrown
was
out?
expelled.
So I begin to suspect why.
I'm trying to remember. This was a bit ago, around the signing of the Aldmeri Dominion Charter. If I recall correctly, his wife left him. There was an investigation, something about the experiments
Experiments.
he was
You
conducting.
mean like emotional manipulation?
Yes, you've got it. That was it. He was casting spells to manipulate emotions in others. That kind of control over another person's mind. It was driving him insane, I think. Yeah.
Yes,
Glad
it
you
looks
took
like he
care
was
of
trying to
that
do
one.
it to your friends. Ooh, I feel better already. Now, let's see. With that being done, what have we got here? Ah. Looks like I'm going 50-50 with this. Right, now let's see what we could do here. Now for the Fighter's Guild was Silver Bolt. So it's 57 physical damage, knock down undead and Daedric enemies for 3.5 seconds. 5% chance to banish undead Daedric enemies, dealing 368 magic damage. Ooh, that's really sweet. If I'm fighting Daedra or undead, which, of course, oh, that's a sound I've heard often enough. Let's see, dexterity. Improved sneak. Decreases the detection area while sneaking. Well, let's see, what is my... okay. Well, probably better just to, well, Deep Slash needs a little bit more training on that. Destruction Staff is only at 7. I could take Wall of Elements and use that later, but what do we have for here? Adric Spear, Piercing Javelin. I don't need any new skills at the moment. Brushed Ceremony. What is this? Restores magical when healing low health allies and heals up to 3 targets. But since it costs magicka, I guess alright, so what do we have here for soul magic? Soul explodes on the head, right. Soul summons allows player to revive without expending a soul gem once every. Oh yeah. That will be really nice and convenient. Now we set up our next quest. Well, I do want to finish that. Then we could go to... Well, yeah, there is that one too. Well, let's finish that one first. But of course, that will be in our next episode, because right now we'll head into the lore phase. And I have brought out plenty of books. So surely one of them can... Oh, good gravy. Grief. I'm going to need an entire lore episode. That is what I'm going to need here. Because I am so far behind after grabbing every single book that exists. Right. Where in Tamriel did I get so many of these? I don't know, but looks like I grabbed quite a number. Alright, so therefore we'll just start down here and move our way up. This is Ruins of Kemel-Ze Part 3. Ruins of Kemel-Ze Part 2. And did I see a Part 1? Ah, here it is, Part 1. So let us read all 3 sections of this for today's lore section. And then we can get through others later on. Alright, so we'll begin the Ruins of Kemel-Ze, Part 1. The Ruins of Kemel-Ze, Part 1 by Roland Nordson. With the acclamations of the Fellow of the Imperial Society still ringing in my ears, I decided to return to Morrowind immediately. It was not without some regret that I bade farewell to the flesh pots of the Imperial City, but I knew that the wonders I had brought back from Raled Mackay had only scratched the surface of the Dwemer ruins of Morrowind. Even more spectacular treasures were out there, I felt, just waiting to be found, and I was eager to be off. I also had before me the salutary example of poor Bannerman, who was still dining on his own single expedition to Black Marsh 20 years ago. That would never be me, I vowed. With my letter to the Empress in hand, this time I would have the full cooperation of the Imperial authorities. No more need to worry about attacks from superstitious locals. But where should I look next? The ruins at Kemel-Ze were an obvious choice. Unlike Raled Mackay, getting to the ruins would not be a problem. Also known as the Cliff City, Kemel-Ze lies on the mainland side of the Vradfeder Rift, sprawling down the sheer coastal cliff. Sprawling down the sheer coastal cliff. Travelers from the east coast of Vanra often visit the site by boat, and it can only be reached overland from the nearby villages without undue hardship. Once my expedition had assembled in Seydanin, with the usual tedious complications involved in operating in the half-civilized land, we set out for the village of Marag, near the ruins, and we hoped to hire a party of diggers. My interpreter, Tuin Panay, an unusually jolly fellow for a dark elf whom I had hired in Senyanin at the recommendation of the local garrison commander, assured me that the local villagers would be very familiar with Kemel-Ze, having looted the site for generations. Incidentally, Tenpenny, as we soon came to know him, to his constant amusement, proved invaluable, and I would recommend him without hesitation to any of my colleagues who were planning similar expeditions to the wilds of Morrowind. At Marag we ran into our first trouble. The hetman of the village, a reserved, elegant old fellow, seemed willing to cooperate, but the local priest, a representative of the absurd religion they have here, worshipping something called the Tribunal, whom they claim actually lives in palaces in Morrowind, had fervently against us excavating the ruins. He looked likely to sway the villagers on his side when his talk of religious taboos, when I waved the Empress's letter under his nose and mentioned something about my friend the garrison commander at Seydanin, and he quieted right down. No doubt this was just a standard negotiating tactic arranged among the villagers to increase their pay. In any event, once the priest had skulked off muttering to himself, no doubt calling down curses upon the heads of the foreign devils, we soon had a line of villagers eager to sign up for the expedition. While my assistant was working out the mundane details of contracts, supplies, etc., Master Aram and I rode on to the ruins. By land they can only be reached using narrow paths that wind down the face of the cliff from above, where any misstep threatens to send one tumbling into the sea, foaming at the jagged rocks below. The city's original entrance to the surface must have been part of the city in the northeast, the part that fell into the sea long ago, when the eruption of Red Mountain created the mind-boggling vast crater. After successfully navigating the treacherous path, we found ourselves in a large chamber, open to the sky on one side, disappearing into the darkness on the other. As we stepped forward, our boots crunched on a pile of broken metal, as common in dwarven ruins as potsherds in other ancient sites. This was obviously where the looters had brought their find from deeper levels, stripping off the valuable outer casings of the dwarven mechanisms and leaving the innards here. Easier than lugging the intact mechanisms back to the top of the cliff. I laughed to myself, thinking of the many warriors unwittingly walking around Tamriel with pieces of dwarven mechanisms on their backs. For that, of course, is the most common dwarven armor really is. Just the armored shells of ancient mechanical men. I sobered when I thought of how exceedingly valuable an intact mechanism would be. This place was obviously full of dwarven devices, judging from the litter covered by the floors of the vast chamber. Or had been, I reminded myself. Looters had been working over this site for centuries. Just the casing alone would be worth a small fortune, sold as armor. Most dwarven armor is made of mismatched pieces from various devices, hence its reputation for being bulky and unwieldy. But a match set from an intact mechanism is worth more than its weight in gold, for the pieces all fit together smoothly, and the wearer hardly notices the bulk. Of course, I had no intention of destroying my finds for armor, no matter how valuable. I would bring it back to society for scientific study. I imagine the astonishment cries of my colleagues as I unveiled it in my next lecture, and smiled again. And that is part 1. Alright, so that is the Runes of Zimble Cave part 1. Now let's see, part 2. The Runes of Kemel-Ze part 2. I picked up a discarded gear from the piles at my feet. It still gleamed brightly, as if new made, the dwarven allies resisting the corrosion of time. I wondered what secrets remained hidden in the maze of chambers that lay before me, defying the efforts of looters, waiting to gleam again in the light they had not seen in long eons. Waiting for me. It remained only to find them. With an impatient gesture to Master Aram to follow, I rode forward into the gloom. Master Aram, Tenpenny, and I spent several days exploring the ruins, while my assistants set up camp at the top of the cliff and hauled supplies and equipment from the village. I was looking for a promising area to begin excavation, a blocked passage or corridor untouched by looters that might lead to a completely untouched area of the ruins. We found 2 such areas early on, but soon discovered that the many winding passages bypassed the blockage and gave access to the ruins behind. Nevertheless, even these outer areas, for the most part stripped clean of artifacts by generations of looters, were full of interest to my professional archaeologist. Behind, a massive bronze door burst from its hinges by some ancient turmoil of the earth. We discovered a large chamber filled with exquisite wall carvings, which impressed even the jaded Tenpenny, who claimed to have explored every dwarven ruin in Morrowind. They seemed to depict the ancient ritual of some kind, with long line of classically bearded dwarven elders processing down the side walls, all seemingly bowing to the giant of a god carved into the front wall of the chamber, which was caught in the act of stepping forth from the crater of a mountain in a cloud of smoke and steam. According to Master Arnam, there are no known depictions of dwarven religious rituals, so this was an exciting find indeed. I set a team to work prying the carved panels from the wall, but they were unable to even crack the surface. On closer examination, the chamber appeared to be faced with a metallic substance with the texture the feel of stone, impervious to any of our tools. I considered having Master Arnam try his blasting magic on the walls, but decided that the risk of destroying the carvings was too great. Much as I would have preferred to bring them back to the Imperial City, I had to settle for taking rubbings of the carvings. If my colleagues in the society showed enough interest, I was sure a specialist could be found, perhaps a master alchemist, who could find a way to safely remove the panels. I found another curious room at the top of a long winding stair, barely passable due to the fall of rubble from the roof. At the top of the stair was a domed chamber, with a large ruined mechanism in its center. Painted constellations were still visible in some places on the surface of the dome. Master Aram and I agreed that this must have been some kind of observatory, and the mechanism was therefore the remains of a dwarven telescope. To remove it from the ruins down the narrow stairway would require its complete disassembly, which fact, no doubt, has preserved it from the attention of looters. So I decided to leave it in place for the time being. The existence of this observatory suggested, however, that the room had once been above the surface. Closer examination of the structure revealed that this was indeed a building, not an excavated chamber. The only other doorways from the room were completely blocked, and careful measurements from the top of the cliff to the entry room and to the observatory revealed that we were still more than 250 feet below the present ground level. a sobering reminder of the forgotten fury of Red Mountain. The discovery led us to focus our attentions downward. Since we now knew approximately where the ancient surface lay, we could rule out many of the higher blocked passages. One wide passage, impressively flanked with carven pillars, particularly drew our interest. It ended in a massive rockfall, but we could see where looters had begun, and the abandoned tunnel through the debris. With my team, the Diggers and Master Arn's Majory to assist, I believe we could succeed where our predecessors had failed. I therefore set the team of Dark Elves to work on clearing the passage, relieved finally to be beginning the real exploration of Kemel-Ze. Soon, I hoped, my boots would be stirring up dust that had laid undisturbed since the dawn of time. With this exciting prospect before me, I may have driven my diggers a bit too hard. Tenpenny reported that they were beginning to grumble about the long days, and that some were talking about quitting. Knowing from experience that nothing puts heart back into these dark elves like the taste of the lash, I had the ringleaders whipped and the rest confined to the ruins until they finished clearing the passageway. Thanks Stendar for my foresight in requisitioning a few legionnaires from Say to Neen. They were sullen at first, but with the promise of extra days' wages when they broke through, they soon set to work with a will. While these measures may sound harsh to my readers back in the comforts of civilization, let me assure you that there was no other way to get these people to stick to the task. Right. Alright, that is part 2. Now, what about part 3? The Ruins of Kemel-Ze, part 3, by Rollard Nordson. The blockage was much worse than I had first thought, and it took almost 2 weeks to clear the passage. The diggers were as excited as I when their picks finally broke through the far end into emptiness, and we shared a round of local liquor together. A foul concoction, in truth, to show that all was forgiven. I could hardly restrain my eagerness as they enlarged the hole to allow entry into the chamber beyond. Would the passage lead to an entire new levels of the ancient city, filled with artifacts left by the vanished dwarves? Or would it be only a dead end, some side passage leading nowhere? My excitement grew as I slid through the hole and crouched for a moment in the darkness beyond. From the echoing sounds of the stones rattling beneath my feet, I was in a large room, perhaps very large. I stood up carefully and unhooded my lantern. As the light flooded the chamber, I looked around in astonishment. Here were wonders beyond even my wildest dreams. As the light from my lamp filled the chamber beyond the rockfall, I looked around in astonishment. Everywhere was the warm glitter of dwarven alloys. I had found an untouched section of the ancient city. My heart pounded with excitement. I looked around me. The room was vast. The roof soared up into the darkness beyond the reach of my lamps, and far in was lost in shadows, with only a tantalizing glimmer hinting at the treasures not yet revealed. Along each wall stood rows of mechanical men, intact except for one oddity. Their heads had been ritually removed and placed on the floor at their feet. This could only mean one thing. I had discovered the tomb of a great dwarven noble, maybe even a king. Burials of this type had been discovered before, most famously by Ransom's expedition to Hammerfell, but no completely intact tomb had ever been found. Until now. But this was truly a royal burial. Where was the tomb? I stepped forward gingerly, the rows of headless bodies standing silently as they had for aeons, with disembodied eyes seeming to watch me as I passed. I had heard wild tales of the curse of dwarves, but had always laughed them off as superstition. But now, breathing the same air as the mysterious builders of the city, which had lain undisturbed since the cataclysm that spelled their doom, I felt a twinge of fear. There was some power here, I felt, something malevolent that resented my presence. I stopped for a moment and listened. All was silent. Except it seemed I heard a faint hiss, regular and breathing. I fought down a sudden urge to panic. I was unarmed, not thinking of danger in my haste to explore past the blocked passage. Sweat dripped down my face as I scanned the gloom for a moment. For any movement. The room was warm, I suddenly noticed. Much warmer than the rest of the labyrinth from far. My excitement returned. Could I have found a section of the city still connected to a functioning steam grid? Pipes ran along the walls as in all sections of the city. I walked over and placed my hand on one. It was hot, almost too hot to touch. Now I saw that in places where the ancient piping had corroded, small jets of steam were escaping. The sound I had heard. I laughed at my own credulity. I now advanced quickly to the far end of the room, giving a cheerful salute to the ranks of mechanical soldiers who had appeared so menacing only moments before. I smiled with triumph as the light swept back the darkness of centuries to reveal a giant effigy of a dwarven king standing on a raised dais, his metal hand clutching his rod of office. This was the prize indeed. I circled the dais slowly, admiring the craftsmanship of the ancient dwarves. The Golden King stood 20 feet tall under the freestanding dome cupola, his long unswept beard jutting forward proudly as the glinted middle eyes seemed to follow me. But my superstitious mood had passed, and I gazed benevolently at the old dwarven king. My king, as I had already began to think of him. I stepped upon the dais to get a better look at the sculpted armor. Suddenly, the eyes of the figure opened, and it raised a mailed fist to strike. I leapt to one side, and as the golden arm came crashing down, striking sparks from the steps where I had stood moments before. With a hiss of steam and a whirl of gears, the giant figure stepped ponderously out from under its canopy and strode towards me with a frightening speed, its eyes tracking me as I scrambled backwards. I dodged behind a pillar, and the fist whirled down again. I had dropped my lantern in the confusion, and now I crept into the darkness outside the pool of light, hoping to slip between the headless mechanism and thus escape back to the safety of the passageway. Where had the monster gone? You would think that a 20-foot golden king would be hard to miss, but he was nowhere to be seen. The guttering lamp only illuminated a small part of the room. He could be hiding anywhere in the gloom. I crawled faster. Without warning, the dim ranks of dwarven soldiers in front of me were flying as the monstrous guardian loomed before me. He had cut off my escape. As I dodged backwards, blow after blow whistled down as the implacable machine followed me, relentlessly driving me into a far corner of the room. At last, there was nowhere left for me to go. My back was to the wall. I glared up to my foe, determined to die on my feet. The huge fist lifted for one final blow. Oh, I hope there's a part 4! What happened to him after that? Oh, what a cliffhanger! What a cliffhanger! Well, I don't see a Runes Part 4 unless... Ah. Then again? Nope, only 3 parts. I can only hope that someday I will find a 4th. But there are more things to read in time, but that is for another day. So that is it for our lore section for today. And we'll turn next time where I hope I will find the 4th child, their gravesite, return to their mother, and perhaps perform some other tasks. But that's for next time in the next episode of Pineleaf in Tamriel.